Purple Book. I want to just reinforce something. I didn't give a homework assignment when I left on Monday night. I didn't give you a homework assignment. Has anybody been reading along in the book on your own? Good. Go to the section on dividers, and then the first question, tell me what the first question is.
4 dividers in your life?
Mm-hmm. That's the question?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. One thing, I want to make something clear. I just want to know you know this, and you just not listening to me and it's going in one ear and out the other for you. It's you that I'm trying to help get to the next level. There was a multimillionaire, one of the richest men in the world at a time, Smith Wigglesworth. Anybody ever heard of him? Smith Wigglesworth said, I would trade all, he got sick and he was dying. Wayne, look up the man named Smith Wigglesworth. Smith Wigglesworth was a tycoon back in the day when the railroad tycoons were coming in and the industry, the area of industry in America was booming. His most powerful statement was, I would trade all the money I have for 5 more minutes. Time. You ever had a flu so bad, you didn't even want to get up out the bed? I mean, just to go to the bathroom is a job. Have you ever had it like that? That's how it must feel when you've aged, you've lived your life, and I'm starting to see differently things that I didn't see in my younger years. For instance, we always associated certain items with success. Jewelry, cars, sometimes women, sometimes more than one woman. These were things that we put out there, this is in my era, as things that made you seem successful or appear. Say appear. Appear successful. Then I always wanted a Rolls Royce. Did I tell you this story? When I was little, all TV was black and white. So I grew up on black and white TV, and the stories were better than the stories that y'all watch. And anyway, there was a private detective. His name was Stony Burke. Stony Burke would solve crime that the police couldn't figure out in the back seat of a Rolls Royce, and he had a telephone in it. And in my little mind, I don't know how old I was, 7 or 8 or something like this here, but I'm watching Stony Burke talk on the telephone in his Rolls Royce and solve crime. It made some kind of impression on me. You know, just, what do you want? In my day, boys, we knew every car that come down the street. We would just say, oh, that's a 69 Chevy Impala with a 282, 8 V8. We knew all of that. I mean, every car. I knew what every car was, what it did, what it, was supposed to do. I don't know if y'all are like that now. But now I don't know every car no more like I used to. I kind of do, general, but so many new car makers are coming on. I don't know what they do. I'm just telling you that it made an impression on me. And my mom, she's passed, She one time asked me, she said, Shane, what kind of car do you want when you grow up? I said, because I saw it. Men are attracted to what they see. I'm gonna tell it to you again. This is a note to write down. Men are attracted by what they see. Write it down. Men are attracted by what they see. Women are attracted by what they see makes them feel. They're attracted by what they see makes them feel.
So wait, so men is just only what they see.
Yeah.
So it don't make them feel?
No, we have a hard time with feelings. You know that.
I tried to feel my own.
We have a hard. Come on, man. I mean, we have a hard time getting in touch with our feelings. We have a much easier. It's a quicker, direct adrenaline rush from what I see to my head. Is that right or wrong? What I'm saying? I can't hear nobody.
Right.
Yeah. How could we know a car just by, we could see the back end of the car going down 2 blocks away and know exactly what the car is. And it's up until they got Hyundai and all these different, what's the guy's name who made Tesla? I don't know what I'm looking at, So anyway, I'm telling you about this story about cars. So when I got to a certain place, and I wanted to get this before my mom passed, and I was looking, but I couldn't find one in my price range, and if you're buying a Rolls, you got to look around the country. You have to search the country for the one that's got the look that you want, and then it's in the price range that you can afford. And I found a 1996 Silver Dawn in Chicago, just right outside, a little suburb outside of Chicago. Was in my what I thought my price range was. I went down there. It's about 8 years ago. I purchased it. And man, I just wish that my mom could see it. And my mom's her nickname was Big Chick. So on the license plate, I put a specialized license plate on it that said Big Chick. Right? It still said, I still got it. But watch this. About 3 years ago, maybe 4, maybe 2, I don't know, I stopped driving it. Well, I'm getting ready to hit you with one. Put your hand down. You got to hear this. Watch this. I stopped driving it. Because as men age, some things that were important to us when we were younger, we outgrow them. We outlive the thing, and it doesn't have the same value as it had before. And so I was talking to my mechanic, saying, "Man, I'm trying to sell it. Look around and tell me what you think." Go ahead, Stan. I got it right now, but I don't drive it. My day-to-day car was a Mercedes 550 until about 3 years ago. I don't drive it. I drive, y'all know what I drive. What I drive? Man, the truck got everything. It's smooth and quiet. I get me where I'm trying to go. I have outgrown. I just want to help you see this. Say outgrow.
Outgrow.
Some of the things that are important to you right now, T, and they're really important. But as you mature, say mature,
Sure.
as you move down the line of life, you start seeing things a little bit differently. And what meant something to you before, it doesn't mean anything to you now, or it doesn't mean the same. You don't place the same weight, the same value on it as you used to do. You get what I'm saying? And so right here at the point where you are, you're trying to build, say build, a new life, say a new life. Yeah, you want to get your first vehicle and get it in there. Down the line, say down the line. Down the line, you're going to have a selection. You're going to have a pick. A time is going to come when you can pick what you want, to drive like you want. And it's okay to have them feelings. We got to go through that, as a man. We have certain, men have certain milestones that we place on certain things, But after you accomplish those milestones and you live beyond them, sooner or later you outgrow that. And now, what's more important now for me? Listen to this. For me, our relationships. What I value more, our relationships. I value my personal relationships more than my vehicles and all of that. I value personal relationships more than money. I value my teaching ability and my training and the work that I do. I value that. That's been blessed unto me in some ways, and I don't want to take it lightly. I don't want to ever, just take it for granted. These are the things that are in my life now on today are more important to me. I at the mechanic yesterday, Stan. I said I need an oil change. My car been set most of the year last year, sits all the winter. It's in storage through the whole winter. I go by and start it up and this and that because I got these habits. Number 6, say number 6. I keep it moving, I keep it looking good, but it don't ding me like it used to. Come on. And that's my point. The things that you want right now, and you need to want them, you need to go after them. Beyond that, you're going to outgrow it. Now, the one thing that you don't want to make a mistake and outgrow, at least too fast, is your woman. Dorian already done had the experience, because if you're trying to bring her with you as you go through the maturation, say maturation. Yeah, maturation are the maturity levels of life. As you go through the maturation, you can't go through by yourself and not bring her. So if you're not a good communicator, you have to work on being a better communicator. Say better. A better communicator, so you can bring her along with you as you mature. You're growing up your relationship at the same time. Otherwise, we sometimes, men, especially us, we go off on a tangent. You get it? And we don't bring nobody with us. We don't even bring the kids. I'll give you an example. My older set of kids met me when I was still in the street, and they called my name, Dad, and I didn't always answer. There's a disconnect between my older children and my younger children, who when they call my name, Dad, they expect to answer. The older children, Van, are a bit traumatized by who I was saying I was when they came. I'm telling you this because of what you said about your father. And I just want to talk to you about family and how it can be so hurtful. I have a son, and about 20 years ago, he shot and killed a little African store owner right here on Broadway, my son. And he was living with me. His mom had been murdered by another guy's woman. And so I had my son living with me. And I had changed my life. I had taken on this guy here, right? The properties that go along with being this guy who's sitting in front of you right now. I had taken on them properties and I was serious about them. I was cutting loose everything that looked like street life. Everything, say everything.
Everything.
I was cutting it loose. And so one day, I went in my son's room and I just started rummaging around in there, and in a paper bag was a big bag of weed. I mean, big old bag of weed. Man, my eyes popped out so. I was like, man, what the? I swooped up the weed. I felt like I was already illegal because now I got the weed, right? Now, you know, weed was a thing then, you know what I mean? Now it's something different, you know, whatever. I'll comment to you on that in a minute. But I was trying to dispose of the weed. Say dispose of the weed. I'm trying to dispose, Vang, of the weed. And so first I was going to go put it in the garbage. Then I said, wait a minute, I can't put it in the garbage because if the garbage man come and say, hey, look, he's the weed man. So then I was going to put in somebody else's garbage. And I said, well, I can't do that, you know. And I don't know, you know, I finally figured I'd buried the weed. And I put my son out of my house. I had 2 daughters there and him. I say, son, you know how I'm living. I'm working with ex-offenders. You can't bring weed to the house, man. And you know, he was like, oh, Dad, you know, I'm trying to get my hustle on. You did it. You you did it. He's telling the truth. No, he's trying to, yeah. He's victimizing somebody else. He good for it. He good. Man, why are you gonna do like this? I said, son, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give you enough money to find you a spot, but you got to get out of here today. I put that boy out. 2 months later, the San Francisco 49ers, I'm a football fan, were playing the Minnesota Vikings. This when the Vikings was good. Right. Right. The Vikings, if the back when I used to watch them, the Vikings, if they could score 3 points, they could win the game on a 3-point lead. You wasn't getting no points. That's how bad their defense was. And while the game was going on, it was a Sunday afternoon, a news flash came on and said there's a robbery and homicide up on West Broadway, right up here. Somebody got shot and killed. I later found out that this is my son. And I never was quite able to get over how I handled the weed situation. I could have handled it differently and tried to make it a teachable moment versus you got to get out of here. But I was so serious, and I'm a serious-minded man. When I was in the street, I was serious. But when I got clean, I was serious. Say, Negro, you can't handle that. You got to get up out of here with that. But it was also a teaching moment where I could say, hey, you know, son, yes, I did that. I lived a street life and I experienced some of those things. And I thought that was slick. But I was wrong. I made a mistake. And I wish you could see the mistake I made, which is why you're thinking this is something that you should be doing. That's my mistake. And he went to the penitentiary on the 2nd degree beef. He did 16 of 18. For a while, I couldn't get into Stillwater. I was in every prison but Stillwater. I couldn't go in because of my son, right? And one time, I'm gonna tell you something that happened that made my son feel worse about me. One time, they had transferred my son from Stillwater to Faribault. Faribault was my home prison, right? And so they contacted me to say, your son is here, so you can't come. And I said, well, that's how it is. That's how it is, They called me back in about 3 hours later and said, okay, no, everything's cool. You can still come. Little did I know, they took my son without no warning to him, just told him to pack it up. He was leaving. They shipped him to Moose Lake in a day so I could come back and do my class. The reason why my class was so powerful in prison that incidents of violence was going down. Every prison that my class was in, violence was going down, racial tension was going down. I had some of everybody in there. I had natives don't join nothing. Asians are skeptical. I had all of them. White boys, everybody's in my class. And the class is waiting list all the time for the class. I'm taking 60 guys a class just to try to manage everybody, all the interests. Faribault is saying, look, this guy is keeping our prison safe for one inmate who's keeping him out. We sending him out of here. Now, of course, my son thought, what did he think? Yeah! I didn't know what happened. I just figured, because you don't have to switch him out when I'm in a whole nother building and,
I seen it where they done had a father and a son sellies before. Why they do that to y'all?
No, that was inmates. I was coming from somebody outside. But let me tell you, I had a grandfather, these are natives, I had a grandfather, father, and a son all at one time in my class at Faribault. No cussing.
So why they
No, so because the rule is, here go the rule, and rules, listen, are made for rule breakers. To everybody else, rules are a guideline. Here go the rule. They say if you are related to an inmate, you can't come in and teach or train because I have a contractor's badge. A contractor's badge open up them doors. When I scan my badge, them doors pop open, just right? And say, oh no, we can't have that. But what they did is change the rule.
That's true. They put me in a shoe in MCC because my niece a nurse up in there.
Yeah.
I'm mistaken. I mistook what you said. I thought you said in prison.
No. I'm teaching my class. Right. Yeah. Contractor. So here's what I want to get over in this message in this afternoon. I tell you about myself and make my book open to you, make my heart open to you, because I want you to feel more comfortable about making change in your own life. You have to make change in your life. You have to consciously and be aware of making decisions. Say decisions. Yeah, that's why I laid you out the 8 steps to the good life. I mean, this is exactly how you go to prison. Here go exactly how you go. You first start, Christopher, you first start talking about it. You might not, the word might not be prison, but it's getting money, or it's slinging, or it's a pack, or it's serving, or it's whatever. And you're starting to talk about it, or let people who talk about it spend in your space. And you don't know unconsciously they're making some impression upon you. You have to weed that out right away, like a farmer picks weeds out of vegetables. You got to pull that stuff out right away, because if you get a negative word in your heart, it's got to produce, mathematically, it's got to produce a negative destiny. It's got to produce that. Be mindful. The people who you used to mess with, I ain't saying don't like them. I ain't saying don't holler. I ain't saying be disrespectful or uppity, but I am saying limit the amount of you spend with suckers, because suckers will knock you out. And they gonna believe you the Stanley from yesterday. I know Stan. Yeah, what you know what? Hey, yeah. No, man. They wasn't with you throughout them bits. They didn't send nothing. Oh, I wait for all the amens to die down. I especially say that for my gang-related and affiliated sons who get up there 2, 3 years, 4 years, and they still hollering, they still throwing, they still talking about it, and they ain't going no place, and they still looking uphill on a 20. And ain't nobody sent them nothing. Not a letter.
Even the people who do send stuff still be bad influence.
Because they sending something to you from the past, who you was from the past. This is why I'm saying it's your responsibility, Dale, to bring your loved ones along with you. If you're in a new body, if you got a new mind in your old body, I see your old body, so I think you're you from yesterday. But I don't know your new mind. The new mind is now driving the old body. Is that right or wrong? So you can't allow them to take up too much of your right. Talking about yesterday. Potty mouth, cussing about everything, signifying about everything, talking about people. All that old drag. Oh, man. Come on now. All that old stuff. You got to move along. Say, move along.
Move along.
Yeah. Kick rocks. Yeah. So this is what I want to drive into these last few minutes. I appreciate you listening at that. My wife's hypothesis is that in life, you're only ever going to meet 4 kinds of people. They are adders. Adders love you or like you. Listen to me, Michael Jackson. Adders love you or like you, but you have to bring your adder along to the new you. So he or she, say he or she, knows how to add value to your new life. This is something new now we're doing. Adders usually care about you emotionally, and they don't want to hear your mess. They don't want to hear you talking about going back where you came from. Subtractors don't really care that much about who you are now or what you're trying to do. Subtractors need company. They are in some degree of pain, are not looking for a way out. They have strong number 6. What's the number 6? Subtractors have strong number 6. They're living in their number 6. Watch this. Dividers. Dividers are people who've been traumatized back at home and family. They never worked it out. They never got away. They developed some habits. These habits were negative, and they were tracking you in a particular direction. You didn't know you were being tracked. But you kept meeting consequences, and they got progressively worse. Is that right or wrong? Dividers will support that because they don't care about you. Beware of dividers. And dividers will always tell you who they are. They're sneaky and they're slick. They lay back and figure who you are out, and then they slide up on you talking like they think you want them to talk, but they're really dividing. They want to divide and split. The word DI means divide or split. Say divide or split. Yeah. Dividers are looking to cut you off. Multipliers are people who have been down the line of life that you've been down. They've been down the line of life. They don't want nothing from you. Multipliers have some things on their own. They've developed some tastes. They have a certain way of living, and they're only looking to work with. They don't waste their on. They don't waste their on. They're only looking for. And how can I find the adder? By what he or she lets come out of their mouth. What comes out of your mouth is life and death. This is the scripture says, Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Speak life over yourself. I am valuable. Oh, I liked how you said that. And feel like that. Connect with that, with the vibe from that. I am lovable.
I am lovable.
I'm powerful.
I'm powerful.
And I'm important.
I'm important.
Now, if you don't treat me like that, kick rocks. Move around. You got it? I'm gonna break you. I'm gonna break you for lunch a little bit early. I got to call this attorney about this thing tomorrow. Howard, I'm gonna look at the thing you saw last night. You know, and I'm putting myself in harm's way, but for my guy, I told him I was gonna be there. If I tell you I'm coming, I'm coming. That's it. That's word. And I don't care if the news don't like it or such and such mad or, and matter of fact, let me tell you what I did. The last time I went with him, where he won 5-2 to run all them 3 life sentences concurrently, he won that 5-2. The 2 were on the fence because he never admitted his guilt. Now, see, the one thing I have going for me that police and the board don't have is I'm right there with inmates. And so inmate will come and tell me, hey, Pop, you backing the wrong horse right there. You need to move around. I'm just letting you know. And I can't tell you how many times this has happened to me. I've never said what I heard from other offenders to public officials. But nobody ever came up and told me, yeah, he did it. That I have heard that somebody else was involved. You understand what I mean? I'm privy to that information because I'm moving around in them sections, in them streets inside, but I don't allow that to take away from what I'm doing or add to it. But it does give me another piece of information that authorities don't have. And like Michael Jackson, remember Michael Jackson said about day 1 or day 2, I was asking some question, and Michael Jackson said, oh, they find me. They'll find me. I was working at so-and-so and so-and-so, and somebody rode up on me. And I knew then you was talking about some affiliation stuff. I didn't want to entertain it at that minute because it would take away from what I was trying to do. But I understand all them dynamics, and I appreciate what they are. But at the same time, you still got to stand your ground. Saying, I'm valuable. I'm lovable. I've changed. I ain't mad. That was yesterday. Today is today. Once it take a little while, but some people say, man, that boy, he ain't with that. It does happen. I've seen it. I've been around it. I've seen it. People say, he's out. Matter of fact, to be quite honest with you, for my guys who are really affiliated and juiced up, who denounced inside of prison. Everybody already knew, but by the time they came out, that they was done. I'll wait for all the amens to die down. My pastor, people still telling me, it reminded me years ago about, oh man, I remember seeing you in such and such. You was in Las Vegas at the Sugar Ray Leonard. Like, yeah, your past is there, but you don't have to relive it. You're on another path now to move around. Say, move around. Yeah, you can't let all that drag from yesterday, drag you back down into the streets. If you're spending time with them, you're in the wrong location.
Like you just said, people could be doing good, getting their job. I'm on a good path now.
Right. No, I feel that. I ain't trying to tell you not to, but at the same time, if you walking right and doing what you're supposed to do, people know that. I've seen them say, I've seen issues happen. Just stay your ground, stay your path. Don't give up on it, and don't step back being like wishy-washy. You in 2 days you was hanging, and what? You know what I'm saying? And then people don't believe what you're saying. Dorian, you got to be tired now. You got to be done now. Say, I'm done.
I'm done.
Say, I'm valuable.
I'm done.
I am lovable.
I'm lovable.
I'm powerful.
I'm powerful.
And I'm important.
And I'm important.
And I'm done with that mess.
And I'm done with that.
Look, if I add it up, I'm going to just show you something. I'm just going to show you something. How many years did you do?
4.5.
30.
Okay, just stop right there. Just stop. Add them up.
59.
Okay. Look. Watch what I'm saying to you. I got 59 years right here. Do I need another year from you? I mean, come on. If I go around the room and put them all the numbers down, it'll take up a couple, 2, 3 people's lifetime. We ain't got no more days to do, huh? No. Was a little lady back there, European lady. She said, whenever you teach, I pull my chair up and I listen. And I really, She said, I really get a lot out of what you're teaching. I said, you just come on in and sit in with the fellas, you know. She said, really? I said, yeah. Yeah.